Tourist here with the fucking legend, Illuminati Congo. Dude, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. You the legend, though, brother. You know what I'm saying? That I guess we just legends chilling together.
Yeah, this is why I think we have such a great relationship. Is it's such a there's such a mutual respect. You're just doing so much in this space. Uh, you inspired me and the Pollock family with this whole multi-chain approach that we're taking. You're the multi-chain maxi. Uh, one of in my personal eyes, like I think you're one of the best, most legendary NFT collectors in the whole space. Just with the eye for art, which I really appreciate, and I kind of have a similar style. But then there's the fact that you're willing to venture to 28 different communities now, 28 different chains.
Not yet. I'm
Just
still just 27.
oh, you're still 27. Okay, what's the next one you're thinking?
Uh, Near and secret.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, so we'll be getting into Secret because I know you've got a very brilliant mind when it comes to understanding uh, where things are probably trending, and that your privacy coins are probably going to be needed at some point. Um, but I want to start into your kind of background here. I want to get into. Let's start with your journey into crypto and NFTs first.
so my journey into NFT started with. I'm gonna grab it right now. When I made these Congo coins, and so I put these on the blockchain for zero point 0.11 Ethereum in January of 2021, because I've always had this love for printing my own money.
Mm,
Here's some other money that I printed before, Baba G money, and it has valuable ideas on here, like this. Money is not wealth, but a convenient means for exchanging wealth, ideas, goods, and loving services. So we were
mm,
printing Babaji money, uh, back in the day. So immediately when I learned about NFTs and this alternative currency, this complementary currency, uh, which seemed to be a way to free ourselves from the bankers' systems, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play my own game instead of letting other people print money for me and deflate and inflate and do whatever they do. I'm gonna print it for myself and see what it takes." And so I made that cash before the blockchain. I
yeah.
made this uh, to connect to the blockchain, and then after that, I was like, well, I can't just be making NFTs and selling them. Uh, I gotta I gotta scoop some because it was so early. I didn't even know what I was doing. It
Mm,
was like I said, it was 2021, uh, in January, and there was nobody I could ask for anything. I mean, there probably was. I just didn't know them. I didn't know about crypto Twitter. I didn't know about any of this. So I was just on my own figuring it out. My community, they didn't even really know about blockchain much either. And so, like, half the people that ended up scooping the Congo coins that I made, I helped onboard them into crypto, uh, which I was happy with at the time. But right now, while the market's like this, I'm like, man, I don't want them to see me. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
I just
yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah. So I guess you're an interesting case because you're you've built your own following through music, uh, and you're actually onboarding people into crypto. Um, like you said, you started printing money on your own. Like so, I think this is also kind of goes into the respect I have for you. Is we've kind of entered the space with the same mindset that the money is broken and that crypto is a way to decentralize it and to try to fix it. Um, you started even earlier than crypto with printing cash, which I think that's incredible because you do realize that this whole money thing, the idea of value, it is something that you just what do we put value behind? And when you go through the history of money, well, there's been a lot of different mediums of exchange
Yeah.
that we as humans have put value behind. Uh, and the fact that at this time we're literally going through a human experiment where this is the only time ever that a money was controlled by a smaller group of people, or the monetary supply, and it's not backed by anything physical at all
Right.
anymore.
Right. And in a certain way, that makes sense because we're we're backed by other things now. We're backed by other elements. Originally, we were backed by the most solid elements: earth, gold, metals, things that were tangible that people could hold. But then you see, we started getting into these new terms and vocabulary around money, watery terms like currencies,
Mm,
currencies and liquidity and banks, river banks,
mm,
and sinking in debt. We got into uh, this watery essence, but then we moved into the next element of electrical
mm.
money, money on computers, fire. This is fire. Electric is fire. The sort of money was on computers, but then it got even more abstract and got into this air airdrop. Like what people are paying with wireless uh, with cards. The little wireless to the thing. People are paying through the air with money, and they're getting airdrops. We're getting airdrops of money, and this whole system
It's
is
literally going through the
based
elements. That's
is
crazy,
the next element is what? Space. How do you say space in other what's ether?
right?
Ether, Ethereum, and this whole web 3, whether Ethereum becomes the root of it all or not, it doesn't matter. That it laid the foundation
Mhm.
with its code for what we're now playing with is this ether money uh
And the whole
type of.
metaverse thing, it's like a new dimension of space. Like,
Exactly. And
yeah, wow.
so value has passed through all of these stages, and rightfully so. But we can't never neglect any parts of the elements. The foundation, that earth, has to be the foundation. If that's not the foundation, then you see what happens.
Mm,
Things like Do Kwon happen if real assets aren't our foundation.
right. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, so we're almost at the end stage then. It's almost like we're at the end stage of money, where it's now gone through all of the elements, uh, and now, ideally, if we can figure out how it does contain all the elements. It gets interesting when I think about Bitcoin, because with Bitcoin now almost essentially being backed by energy, where you're having, the volcanic miners and uh, flare gas that is you're just wasted energy you're now turning into money.
Yeah.
Um, it does feel like, to me, that's the form of being all the elements, where you are backed by Earth and Earth's energy, um, and then you're flowing with the water and it being a currency. It's electrical, so I mean, we talked about electrical being fire, flare gas, fire,
Mhm.
volcanic, like, it does feel like it's backed by electricity essentially with the miners. Um, and then the fact that it's completely digital, the idea of airdrops and transferring it through air and transferring it through space in terms of the metaverse digitally, it does feel like this is the end stage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's where we've come to completion, or we're coming to it, of learning the value of currency, and once we do, we're going to be able to utilize it in a more uh, ideal way. But there are always upheavals moving through these transitions, and we've moved through the last three from fire, air, and space so quickly that
Mhm.
they're all still move. It's all still moving right now.
Right. Wow, this is so interesting. I could go on this stuff for hours, but I want to get
Yeah.
into you as an NFT collector. Um, let's talk about what excites you the most about the NFT space and the technology. And you're somebody that I really want to pick their brain on this subject because you have been a content creator.
Hmm.
To me, NFTs, that's what it's purely about,
Yeah.
empowering the content creators and the fans. Because
Hmm.
now we can really, really, attach ourselves to each other and provide each other value. Um, yeah. What are your thoughts? What excites you the most about this new NFT industry in terms of as a being a creator?
Well, well, the first thing it does relate to what we were just talking about is that just our ability to create currency out of our talents,
Mm,
out of our vision, out of our imagination, to print money, to let our creativity be the money printer. So there's, you know, proof of work type of mining that creates value out of nothing, or out of energy, nothing, something, however we want to look at it. In the same way, our imagination and our creativity is like a printer of money,
mm,
that can, through sharing what we share through the NFT space, we're actually uh, we're creating more money and more value, essentially. And then, for our audience, for the collectors, there is possibility for few things. One, just to be able to hold an asset, because one thing that people don't even think about much is holding an asset will impact your mentality
mhm,
to a prosperous state. Like,
mhm.
one of the tricks that I used to use was to always have $100 bill on me, no matter what. It's just always on me, uh, and that $100 bill would let me know at any time I could use that for whatever I want to buy it, whatever I want to buy. I have this $100 bill. I think it needs to be $1,000 in the wallet, because that $100 that
Yeah,
just
work.
don't mean nothing. But at
Just to
this
touch
point,
on that for a second, I seen the funniest video the other day from the White House secretary, the press secretary, where they were talking about the market and uh, oh, it was like we're seeing record growth in the economy, and then one of the reporters was like, "Are we also seeing record inflation levels?" And she was literally like, "No, no, that's not how we see it." He's like, "You don't just get to see it that way. Like,
you're
no,
right.
this is reality." Like,
These people, like, they get hired. They hired to have to deflect. They have to deflect when they up on there. If you're not deflecting the bullshit, you fired.
hey, we got Tunch in the house. I see him in the chat. What's
Tunch, my
going on,
shamanic
Tunch?
roots.
I
See, I
seen
need
he just had a big Joe Peg sale for 100 AVAX.
what?
Tunch is getting some eyes now, ladies and gents.
I was about to pull up my shamanic roots song, and kick a couple little bars from it for Tunch. But no, we gonna say that alpha. We gonna
Oh,
say that.
that's exciting. Yeah, I mean that's massive alpha. With Potluck, we'll be putting out a project with Tunch doing the art, Congo doing some music for it. Like, man, this is gonna be crazy. I'm so excited because it feels like a match made in heaven. The whole shamanic roots, the vibe of these gods from all around the world, and all different cultures, and then your music to go with it. Uh, yeah, huge. I'm so excited.
Yeah, yeah. And back forward to our build about the NFT collections. I've been thinking about our, like, in ancient cultures where we would use mass. Let me see. Do I got one of my little African mass books over here? So we would use like these tribal masks, and they would mean something to us, or these heads of the gods, like they would be jackals, or
Yep.
a baboon, or whatever. You have all these different uh archetypes, and our culture, we've none of that means anything to us anymore. We look at it and we're just like, oh, okay, cool. That's what people did. We don't even understand what it means. But what if we started doing this with these PFPs so that we could
Mhm.
regain awareness about what our ancient culture is? What if it is our ancient cultures coming up?
I think this is so fucking interesting because I was literally just listening to a podcast yesterday with some comedians, and they were talking about this one comedian who I guess he does his performances with a mask or a helmet or something, so you can't see his face, and he's massive. His stand up does incredible numbers, but the guy gets to walk through the streets because people don't know him.
Hmm. Like
And
Ghostface. I mean, like MF Doom.
I think this is so interesting because society has entered this weird time where um, you're almost worried to touch on subjects because there's so much judgment going on. Because society has put everybody in boxes of all kinds, uh, you almost like disavow or disprove somebody's opinion or thesis because of what box they're in.
Right.
And to me, what this whole anonymity on crypto Twitter has done and been about is the idea that we've all connected on such unbelievable levels, not seeing face to face, you know,
Hmm.
knowing people behind PFPs and growing these relationships behind an avatar before now we enter this kind of space where people are starting to dox each other, and we're now starting to reconnect back to a face to face level.
Hmm.
But it's almost because we've made the connections as the avatars.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's so interesting because it does feel like, just again, if we're talking about this shift in, we're potentially finding the end state of money. I think we're going to be going back through this like kind of spiritual renaissance. Um, if I hate to get like utopia dystopia thing, but I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of darkness before we enter like this just incredible period of time.
Well, the darkness is where the seeds grow from, and the darkness is that's the unknown. And we always we love the unknown. We got to go. That's why we have sleep, because we have to go to the unknown every day. We have to go to the darkness every day. And so it's nothing to be afraid about, but it is something to live up to. Like, we got to live up from the heart to really be able to alchemize what come from that darkness.
Mm. Yeah, Toon says here in the chat, he goes, we needed those masks to reconnect. Like you said, man, much respect on that. Yeah, that is such an interesting point you bring up. The fact I never thought about that. It is an ancient culture thing. It does feel like we're kind of getting back to that. And I mean, that's just the cycle of everything. It
We
does
we
feel
need
like we just go through these
we
cycles.
needed to catfish each other.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Literally what it is. Like that's so interesting. And to me, that is like, again, that's the most powerful part of this all. When I think about the NFTs and technology, just to touch on it,
Hmm.
we're back at prices that I entered this industry at. And when I entered the industry, I was working a full-time job, like, and that was how I pay my bills. Now I'm full-time in this industry, yet we're back at the original prices that I got in at. had there not been these NFTs and the community behind this all, like these would be really dark times for a
Hmm.
lot of people.
Yeah,
But it feels like everybody has just been handling things so well because we're going through it together as a community.
we are, man. I see you got the tinfoil dot fire. I got the Illuminati Congo dot fire. It's like we y'all didn't tell me how to do this. I immediately, as soon as I seen the dot fires in the community, I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go figure it out. And I went and figured it out, went and put it on there. Why? Campfire, they support last minute, 30 minutes. They put my thing, my NFT up there, Goblin City, like a G. It's like they've been there supporting Potluck, and now the partnership with Potluck. We have, it's just in one example of, there's all these creators in the community that keep sticking together, keep building upon each other, regardless of what's going on in the market. Like, yeah, it hurt. If I look at, I'll be honest, when I go into
Mhm.
my wallet, I go
I'm
right past the portfolio of money, of balance, and I
gonna
go
look at my
straight
art.
to the
Yeah,
NFTs.
I'm gonna look at my art, please. I feel you on that. No, that's awesome. I see we got a couple chats in here. We got Truth Seeker who's in here. He wants super chats enabled. We got Look Inward. It says, I'll have to watch this when I get some more time. Just wanted to drop in, show support, and say what up. The song Build Them Up is a huge banger. Yeah, that is a
Thank
track,
you.
dude.
Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed that one.
Yes, and True Seeker, he's a great podcaster too. Y'all, I think you two would do really well. He put out a project recently, True Seeker, that I don't know if it got much. I don't know what happened, but it's a really dope project with like Jordan Maxwell cards, and like
Oh,
it's yeah, it's some dope stuff. True Seeker, we got some dope music together too, as
oh,
well.
sweet. That's awesome.
Yes, I got y'all. Got to link up.
Yeah, I'd be super interested. I mean, the name alone gets me. So,
Yeah, for sure.
all right, I want to get back to my questions for you. Um, what's something you like as a collector? I know you're a creator too, so you understand the idea of being a creator and just and grinding, whether this industry was here or not. Like you're creating because you love to do it. Uh, from the collector standpoint, what are you looking for in a project? Um, what what does it take to get Congo to go? You know what? I'm into this. Is it just the art alone, or is it kind of the artist behind it? Like what's your little checklist uh, that you need to put together for a project to go? Yeah, I'm gonna get this.
So the art definitely gets me going right away. Uh, the artist might not even be on a grind sometimes, and I'm just like, I just want this art, and I don't know what the artist is gonna do. Those situations aren't the ones I feel the best about uh, as a expanding value asset in other people's eyes, but it stays valued in my eyes. But then if I know the artist has like crazy drive and vision, or has uh, has like some zeal to connect with their audience and community throughout time, I'm more bullish on it. And then if I see there's a community that's as bullish as I am as well, uh, that's even more so. But the art is usually the first thing, and then also the people that are attracted to the project. Uh, it does matter, because you don't want to be up in those spaces with people on Twitter that's just like boring you half to death. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
like that, that if the people related to the project is, they not enthusiastic, then it make you a little like, oh man. Or if it's hard for them to communicate their vision, it makes it a little challenging. But luckily for me, I I just collect if I see some dope art.
Mm,
So a lot of people are way more about, yo, can I make the quick flip? Can I get this? Is this gonna pump right off the get go? I'm usually not thinking about that. Like with the Stone Gods, I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't know what they finna do. I'm not even checking their roadmap, but I love the
yeah,
Stone Gods. I love them.
yeah,
So I scooped them. Same thing with the turtles. You told me there's staking involved. I was like, oh dang, I didn't even know that. I just like the beats and I like the turtles.
right.
So oh yeah, Eli got NFTs too. Eli is dope. We gotta get him into the auction house someday. You know that, you know Eli the rapper?
No, I don't.
Man, Eli is a cold one of the he a cold rapper, one of the coldest. I rate him highly up there, and his art is like every time I see a piece, I'm just stunned.
Shit, I'm gonna check that out. Eli, that's good. Uh, all right, let's get into. So this is a big one because you're such a cross-chain maxi. Uh, let's get into some of the differences that you see between different NFT communities across different chains, and you can name specifics if you want to. You don't have to,
Well,
but just give us a vibe
I
across some
love
of the
Phantom. You
communities.
know I love Phantom. That's
Mm.
and you and Phantom Punks, True Voodoo, Tomb Heads, y'all are really what did it for me. Scorpio Black, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to commune with y'all, Gui, Septa, the whole Phantom community is really what did it. Then I love how much support there is. I've gotten people willing to help me with my projects. I'm just in there willing to help people and offer what I have to other people's projects. Uh, and there seems to be this camaraderie and this willingness to grow the NFT space and Phantom together. Uh, what I really love about it is like when that professional stuff hit, we all got really professional. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We all we all played together this
Which is so
same,
funny.
yeah, we played the same joke together, which was like this that that joke transcending, like it's in Australia, South Africa, we in America, we're all playing the same inside joke. And it's so fun. So I love that. I love AVAX too. They look AVAX seem a little more hood. There's a few little nerds in there, but it's like there's so much. It seems so hood in the AVAX spaces that I end up in, and I really like that. Sometimes I join in, but one time I joined in and I accidentally did a spoiler on on Ozark on them, so I ain't want to join in on the spaces for a minute
Oops.
because I didn't know. I thought everyone was at least past the first season, so
Hey, if you're not past the first season at this point, that's on you.
right. But yeah, they so dope on AVAX, and like the way that the synchronicity, the synergistic energy between the two communities is flowing. I really appreciate that. H bar is so dope as
Mm,
well. It's like they all about each other over there on H bar, and yeah, it's a community where if you reach out to people the same way, people are willing to help, and there I haven't been in a lot of their spaces because I didn't start getting into spaces until playing with Phantom a lot. And so when I go in their spaces, I'm sort of more so just that's how I tell what a community is about
yeah.
very often, is by entering into the spaces and just seeing what the conversations are like. And uh, I I love my H bar fam, but I don't have as much fun in the spaces as I do when I'm over on there on AVAX or Phantom. It's just
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because something I noticed that like AVAX is so heavy on Twitter Spaces,
yeah,
like it's amazing. That community is so strong on Twitter Spaces. I just noticed a Twitter account that is just like AVAX Twitter tracker, and it just tracks and puts out a schedule for all the Twitter Spaces. And like you've got big members of the AVAX community both hosting spaces at the same time. Like there's so
yeah,
many AVAX spaces going on
yeah.
that I can't be in like a Johnny Blaze space and a 2P space at the same time.
Hmm.
It's incredible. And then I find with Phantom, it's just like there's so much stuff going on in Discords.
Hmm.
You enter Southern Empire, and there's almost constantly
Right,
somebody streaming art in there and
right.
dropping alpha. Same with Teens on Acid. I know actually he made a big announcement yesterday that Gimmixborn is bringing his community into the Teens on Acid Discord.
So
So
fly.
I like seeing some of this kind of community merging and stuff.
Yeah, because people have been saying that it would be a lot easier to sort of consolidate some of these our community in the Discord. But that's a great point. You're able to see how some of the different blockchains are communicating with their community, and how it all works, like what the results of it are.
So I'm just taking a look at. I wanted I wanted to put your obtainable NFT link out there,
Oh, thank
not
you.
realizing that it's sold out.
No, no, it's not sold out. So I think you can still go buy it on OpenSea. It's just obtainable. I think they have to like relist it every month or something,
Okay.
and maybe they didn't relist, like reattach it to their site or something.
Yeah, because on their website it says there's none available.
Yeah, I was just peeping that. I was peeping that. I think if you click through to the OpenSea, you can. I believe you can still buy it there. Um, and but I'm not sure, because I'm not sure how that works, because with this NFT you're able to receive the vinyl as well, and I know I received the information for shipping through Obtainable, and if you just get it on OpenSea, I don't know how I would get that information.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
it doesn't have a buy now option. It just has a
Oh,
make
okay.
offer option.
Okay, I'm gonna have to holler at them. Thank you for letting me know, because that one is definitely it's like it's moving so slow, but I already know that what we created there with that value is something that hasn't been done, and will increase in value a lot more as time goes on. So I'm just letting it chill, do its slow dragging thing.
Bro, like the art, I mean, the art alone, like to me, is more valuable than the price that you put out at in
Right.
terms of like just what Chris Dyer is going to be and has become
Yeah.
going forward. The fact there's only 55 pieces of this artwork, I think is
Exactly.
huge. Then there's the fact that this is a fucking vinyl cover that comes with a physical from you, and I know that that album has a ton of downloads, and
For
the fact
sure.
that it's got 50,000 plus downloads, and there's only 55 of these physicals available, I think it's a pretty big deal. It just comes down to as you continue to grow, and as you and I continue to educate your community and get them into this owning assets field. Uh, yeah, I can only see the value of some of these things going crazy. But I do appreciate that you brought up the idea that kind of like I guess like value we bring value to so many different, like we bring value to money, we bring value to art. Um it's so much, it's like a mentality. It really is. Value is purely from a mentality standpoint, and that's the more I learn about it. Like the more I see the NFT field, the more I realize that. Because you got a project like Goblins, which was nothing exciting. It comes out, there's no roadmap, no nothing. But because we're in a bear market and like the community's trying to come together, they just rallied around this art. and start creating their own stuff. The McGoblin Burger, like that's a whole big community, to the point that people were speculating that it was a Yuga Labs project or that it was run by like celebrities. Then yesterday it comes out that it's a project released by the Truth NFT team, the Illuminati NFTs, which is just an NFT team, like a small little NFT team put that together. It's been funny because I've been reading through Twitter, and Goblin's floor dropped a little bit yesterday. Some people had, like, I guess, were upset with the doxing, but then the majority of the sentiment that I was seeing was the fact that everybody was like, look at the fact that we were speculating that it was Yuga Labs that launched this project, and here it is, just some little NFT team. Just goes to show how awesome that little NFT team is. And I think it's, to me,
Yeah.
this is it goes back to kind of these teams that we have on Phantom and stuff like this. There's these little NFT teams that I think are just going to be incredible. It just comes down to people taking recognition of it.
Yeah, for sure. That I've always appreciated that Illuminati. Well, at first when I saw it, I appreciated the art, and then I was like, all right, are they just trying to use Illuminati? Because I'm Illuminati Congo, so the name, it means something to me, and I'm not gonna mess with anyone who just used the name and the imagery for no reason. And so when I began to see certain posts that they would make and certain verbiage and language that they would use, I realized, I was like, oh, they really do. They care about this Illuminati, where they see themselves and honor themselves as Illuminati and all of their holders as Illuminati. And through that, I was like, okay, this is a dope team. So when I heard this Goblin, it made total sense to me, because you they're able to play these different roles. When you playing with Enlightenment, you could play a Goblin role, you could play whatever role you need to play, and so it was all like, oh, this is so dope. It just made me sad that I didn't get a chance to mint any of the Illuminatis yet, or I mean, I ain't even bought any yet off the secondary.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see like where that team progresses now, because obviously they got a ton of money from the Goblins volume, and I know a lot of that went into the Truth DAO treasury. The team behind it is incredible, and I'm just cluing in. Like, I've been holding the project for a while, and I'm
Yeah.
just realizing who's behind it. I don't know if you've ever heard of Upstream, but it is essentially like a DAO website. It's a DAO tool website. So for the first time ever, I finally utilized it yesterday because I have Truth DAO tokens. So I went on Upstream. It asked me for my wallet. I connect my wallet, shows me how much voting power I have, what votes are up. You can put through proposals. Like, they have built the Web3 governance tool, and that is the same team that is behind this Illuminati NFT team. So now that they've essentially funded one of the biggest DAOs now, because Goblins is becoming a top 5, top 3 project. So now the DAO's sitting on 1,000 Goblins that they're going to raffle off to all the original Illuminati holders, and then the funds for a DAO, plus they made the tooling for the DAO, which is the stuff that the Bored Apes use and the CryptoPunks use and all of these massive DAOs use. So I think, like, I'm super bullish on that team. I mean, it was really good news for me yesterday,
Yeah.
where you start to realize, like, there's an aspect to, we get lost in time frames. We want everything to happen so fast. And we talked about flippers earlier, like, you want this quick flip and whatnot, but I feel like my biggest wins have been like my long holds.
Mm,
Umans for one. I've been holding Umans for over a year now, and like we're entering this really interesting stage where floors are going crazy on all her projects. She's about to go to Times Square and have Umans like displayed at Times Square for, and she might win an award at NYC NFT. So like, what happens to that? Like, that's a massive win. Um, the Truth Month again. It's a team that has been putting together stuff for months. It takes time for this stuff to kind of come into play. But crypto's kind of got us such in these daily 1 minute time frames. Yeah, it was nice news yesterday, and it was really when you have convictions that come through, it like feels
yeah,
good.
yeah, for sure, and to just even just to see that other people are getting value out of in trusting in in their eye, trusting in the art, trusting in the whole game. It's good to know because yeah, not every time it's gonna explode right away.
Mm.
Uh, but if you really like the art, if you felt a call into it, it makes sense to get it if it's in your budget. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, I got maybe a couple more NFT questions, and then we'll get into the tinfoil Illuminati questions.
Oh shit.
Uh, Give me a project that you think people are really sleeping on right now.
Hmm. It's really sleeping on a lot. Um,
And this does not have to be on Phantom or Avex. This
okay,
can be another.
Galactic Gang. Galactic Gang is really slept on. Uh, like it seems like it get attention, uh, but I don't think it's getting the attention it deserves because it's more the art is definitely something that will uh, that's so compelling. Like I could sit with that art. Yeah, man, I could
It's
sit
so
with
good.
that art for forever. And then what he's bringing into the metaverse scene, what he's attempting to share in the metaverse, and also the value he's already provided with the different drops for the holders,
Mhm.
different free mints for the holders. I think that's a that, and his team is so solid. The whole Galactic Gang team with Chris is so solid. So I think that's
A
one.
fellow Kyle on the Galactic Gang team. Shout out to
Yeah,
Kyle's.
no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, no, I love the Galactic Gang project and team. I'm super excited. I mean, I've participated in a couple of their metaverse parties in the spatial IO space that they have. Their on cyber gallery is probably the coolest one I've ever seen. Um, yeah, when you say give value back to holders, yeah, by me holding incredible art that I love anyways, I got airdropped like tokens that then got me exclusive 3D metaverse objects in his art style. So I got like Galactic Gang skateboards, a cool wall. I got this crazy portal thing.
Yeah,
Um, just unbelievable value that like now when metaverses really come into effect, I have cool ass items now that I get to put in my metaverse galleries and stuff. Uh,
exactly.
I'm really hoping. I know Slothopia's got big goals, so I feel like at some point it's obvious that he'll tap the Ethereum chain, and that gets really exciting when because I think there's already starting to be some relationships. I've got a pretty good relationship with them. I know Uman's got a good relationship with them, so there's a cool little love triangle working its way out. I think there's gonna be some exciting stuff coming, especially to the Slotopia world in the future. And I know on the music side of things, the Slotopia universe is getting real cool. Oh, what do you got going on here? Oh, bunny bats. I was looking at these. I've seen you tweet about these.
Yeah, that's another one that I really like. That I've uh, I like the team. The artist is crucial, and the team is really involved. It's a cross chain thing. They got spaces going on every day. I don't like the Matic aspect of it, but like I said, it's cross chain. So I'm gonna take mine off to some other chains almost as soon as I can.
So what's it on right now? What chain?
Matic,
Just Matic.
yeah.
Is it okay? And then you can move it to whatever chain you want.
Hmm.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into. I want to know what your friends and family kind of think about. I know in your community, what they all think about you in crypto and NFTs.
Uh, Last year they thought I was cool.
We
Last
gotta
year they thought I was a cool dude.
we gotta.
This year, this
Yeah,
year,
right.
this this year they're like, man, gee, what happened to all that stuff you was talking about? What happened to what? But but no, they not. Ain't nobody even tripping. Like people believe in me and in my vision, and they the miners are loud as hell over here and everyone's enduring it. They're like, yo, it's we we get it. We got to do this. Break away from the Federal Reserve, print our own money, and bring it on in.
So I just going through some comments here. We got Phoenix from the Ashes says, "I want to know how do I join an NFT community and start to create to earn some money."
So the best way, well, for me, like even I wasn't necessarily even trying to join any communities when I was getting NFTs. I didn't even understand that was going to be a thing. I was just like, yo, let me get this art, and then I shared it. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. I tagged the person because I was like, yeah, I want the person to get some credit. Then they shared it. Then I find more people. They commenting, people that like that art, and then I notice, these people are in the same community, and then I start engaging with them because it's just genuine people, like their posts, follow a person, then scoop an NFT, scoop
Yeah.
scoop something you like for cheap. Don't go right in unless you got big bank. Find find a community that looks like they real, like there's actually people there that's about it. And if you could find an NFT that's in that community that isn't that expensive, get you one. Put it as your PFP. Start building with people, and pop into a space or a Discord. Share what you do. Share your talents, your way of viewing things, uh, and start to share your art. Uh, and then what'll happen is you'll connect with people who you could ask them like, "Yo, what's up? Where can I mint this at?" And they'll be like, "Well, you can mint it here, but you might have this issue. You could try this out." And you'll get people that will be able to answer your questions, and you'll already have had other people that have seen your name, that have seen that you're supporting them, sharing their posts, and actually uh, want to engage with the community. And then next thing you know, uh, people may be interested in what you're creating. I've seen garbage art that people are scooping because they love the community, and so it I don't know, that might not be the most inspiring words, but you can do whatever you you is in your heart to share, and if you're genuine and sincere, you're gonna find people that connect if you're really attempting to create value for people.
Mhm. Yeah, I see Hexproof here in the chat. I want to get to his question, but I also I want to get into our questions. So I think we're almost gonna have to do like a daily show where we get like user questions and we just bang out any community questions.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You know I'm down.
because I do want to get into the secretive networks and whatnot, but I gotta get into our fun topics first. So we'll save the privacy network talk for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Kago, who do you think built the pyramids? What do you think? It's like, so what I've kind of broken it down into categories. There's like the alien theory. Um, we can go with within the Egyptian people theory. There's like a slave class. There's just people of like unbelievable faith that like just worked so hard to put that together for faith reasons. Uh, and then there's the idea that we were potentially more advanced at one point. Um, what, yeah, what do you think is the most plausible theory in your mind?
So the I want to grab a book to show a glyph that mur mur the root word mur means pyramid. Uh, I feel like grabbing it just because sometimes you gotta show things, but I'm not gonna do it right now. I'll show it at a different time. Murder means pyramid. You find this in so many different words like America, Lemuria. Uh, there's regions in Africa, the Moor and Amhara regions, Sumer, Mount Meru, in India, this mirror thing, and there's pyramids in all of these lands, styles of pyramids in all of these lands, and they're different types of pyramids. They're in different ways, but somehow, for some reason, all of these regions decided that there was a reason to build up these geometrical shapes that are basically octahedrons. And for when we say who built it, that is the answer to the question. Who who built it? Who is sound in Egypt? Who Sia Heka means the trinity of word, sound, power. And in all of these cultures, I think it was sound. It's like this reverberation within people's souls that okay, our body has certain ratios and certain proportions. And these pyramids, and if you look at them in all these places, they have measurements where their ratios and proportions are also directly linked with our own body. And so I feel like the sound within us decided to create these buildings so that we could always one remember buildings that would last the test of time no matter what be happening on the earth, so that we can remember the
Mm,
importance of who we are. And it was just the intelligence, the same intelligence that we are at this day. The issue is I'm looking at this computer, I'm looking at screens, I'm doing all of these other things that don't support concentration.
mm.
And concentration with sound is what will allow one to move something with sound. When concentrated sound energy towards a direction moves things. So I believe it was people, and it was built through our sound.
That's really interesting because I've always seen. I'm also of that belief, and what really turned my attention to that was those like little frequency pads where you put the salt or the sand on it, and then you
Cymatics.
yeah, and all of a sudden it just builds like these snowflake looking geometry. It really gave me the idea that like if you as a people understood and we know the materials that were used were like selected for reasons.
Mhm.
Um, if you understood the energetic properties of the materials, and then we're able to utilize the sound and frequency to you potentially just I almost levitate rocks, levitate thousands of tons of rocks just
Yeah.
by exactly what you're saying, concentrating sound and energy. Um,
And so it's through, it's called cymatics, the, that that science of vibration that causes a form. Now, the cymatics, it's spelled CYM cymatics, cymatics. So you go to, what's the root of that word? It's a vibrating thing. Symbol. You play drums,
right.
you play drums, then you playing cymbals.
Mm,
Huh? Is a pyramid a symbol?
right.
A symbol. What am I talking? Symbol. It's a symbol. And so the what's this connection here? It's that all symbols, every single thing is coming from sound. And people would use sound cymatics to create structures when they had some type of unity uh, in their community. You,
Mm,
like, by myself, I can't create a whole pyramid just with my sound, but like 12 or 13 of us around there directing a sound, 1,300 of us directing a sound frequency could plausibly erect some stones.
right. Ah, it's so interesting. I find this stuff so amusing. All right, let's get into. I know you understand a lot of different cultures and the history upon different cultures. Who's your favorite mythological god? And I'm going to take this from two standpoints. One from I want to say the story behind the mythological god, and then on the other one, I want to say from almost like an perspective in just the creativity of it. And because me personally, I would say from a creativity, just art perspective, Anubis has always been. I'm just such a. I love the look of that mythological god. But then in terms of the story behind it, I think something like Shiva is so interesting. Like the goddess of creation and destruction, and the idea that that statue is outside of CERN, which is the big hadron collider. Like I think that is so interesting,
And it's right there too.
right? Right.
uh, but so for me, it would be this a hard question because uh, I'm connecting to these as living expressions of myself
Mm,
every day. So it's almost like asking what is my favorite aspects of myself. Uh, and so I mean that's how I have to take the question.
right.
Uh, so I where's my little guy here? Fell down. Got two little guys here. I bring them out since they here. Here's Bess. They go Bess from Egypt.
Oh yeah,
I made a
cool.
I made a post about Bess the other day on my Instagram. Bess is the only god in Egypt that always is facing forward. Like,
Yeah,
most of the time they're like
yeah,
this
yeah.
to the side. Bess is always a mirror image to you. So you look right at Bess and you see yourself. And now what is that? What is Bess associated with? He's definitely a trickster. He's definitely, I love all the trickster archetypes of God. Those are my favorite. But Bess is comedy. Bess is related to humor and comedy. And that's another reason I love him. He does funny shit to trick people, and like in his myths, it's like always some joke type of shit happening. And then he the only male god associated with childbirth. So I was when
Mm.
when my son, did you seen him walking in here a second ago, when he was about to be born, uh we knew we was gonna have him here at the crib. I was gonna catch him. My lady was gonna let him flow out, and there was gonna be no one else here. But that was a very uh that brought up some fears that could be there around having to deal with that. And so I tapped into Bess, and Bess helped me write a whole book called Rebirth of the Necheru, during the time when he was coming. And it's all about speaking from the point of of the gods of Egypt, rather than learning about them, more so speaking as them, because that's how they would speak. That's, if you read the words of the ancient gods in Egypt, it would say, I Ra brought myself into being, or I.
Mm.
So in the same way, this the book that I wrote is a book similar of affirmation, speaking from that point of view, because that was always the point, to to put yourself as the Necheru, and not to put them out there.
Can you
It,
hold up that best just for another second? Because you got me
yeah.
a little bit fucked up right now. Because, um, like, my second DMT trip ever was like my real breakthrough moment where um, I had done DMT the first time and traveled through places, and the final few minutes was like just a really intense mushroom visual. Uh, the second time was very different, and I know that that was kind of the breakthrough one. And there was a moment in time where uh, it almost looked like these little kind of guys like that, because to me it's interesting. I used to call them Buddha type of characters because it was these little chubby things, but it wasn't really a Buddha. I didn't know how to describe them, but there was a bunch of them, and they were all locked arms, and they like closed in on me like a circle, and I was scared at the time. But as they closed in, the moment I felt them touch me, like hug me as a group, I bawled my eyes out. And both my DMT trips, I had set up my phone as a camera just to rewatch what my body went through afterwards. And rewatching, like I sat there and like I had curled up when they had felt like they were touching me, and I was like literally talking to them and like almost telling them to get off me. And I'll never forget the moment they started leaving. It was very like I bawled my eyes out, and I might not have ever cried that hard in my life. Uh, and I find what you said so interesting about the fact that uh, you talk about them like comics, jesters. When you think about like the idea of these DMT elves, they're always kind of assimilated as jesters. Uh, then you look at the connection between personally, like how I got into DMT in the first place was kind of my belief in the Egyptian culture and their potential connections to it. The idea that DMT might be produced by the pineal gland, and when you look at the Eye of Horus and you cut a brain in half, it looks identical. Like, so that tree of the acacia tree is just super potent in DMT, and that's the main tree or bush over there. So like all these little connections.
That's what Osiris was he was hid in an acacia tree when his body was said to be perished. And the same thing with Hiram
Mo-
Abiff.
Moses
Same.
isn't Moses' staff an acacia branch, and then the idea of the Ark of the Covenant was supposed to be it's an acacia box. It's an acacia wood box
And
that is plated in gold.
someone made me some like natural DMT type of, I don't even know what it necessarily is. It's like he extracted all just plant matter, DMT, acacia, and some other stuff, but it's plant matter with it too. I've yet to even experiment with it. It was given to me around the time of a Galactic Gang party uh, months ago, and I've just had it at the altar, anticipating my time to use it.
Yeah, I see Gnostic Compassionate here says the eye of phosphor Horus.
Yeah,
Again, getting into the semantics, this is all so interesting to me.
yeah.
Um,
There's definitely codes in that. There's definitely a code in pH as well, because like, what sound does pH make in the English language? The F sound, right?
yeah,
When you put it together, F. F is the sixth letter of the alphabet.
mhm. And then
A, B, C,
phosphorus,
D, F.
Lucifer,
So yeah, and then you take
pH.
P, and then you take pH. P is what letter of the alphabet? Uh, if M is 13, then N is 14,
O 15, LMNOP. So P is 16.
P is 16, and then H uh, is 8. So you add
24.
7 plus 8, you get the 15. Because one plus, what's one plus
1 plus 6. Oh, right.
1 plus
7.
is 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. 1 plus
1 plus
5
5 is
is
6.
6.
And then even
So
if you went the other way where it was, uh, how do we do it there? What was it? 16, 16 and 8 is 24, 2 and 4, 6.
2 and 4 is 6. So either way, pH is going to break down to 6, which makes the same sound when put together as F, which is a 6. And is that a coincidence? Sure, why not? But here's the thing: coincidence means to coincide. That means these things coincide together. Coincidence just means synchronicity. You think about a coin side too. You ever hear the word coin side? Like there's two sides to every coin. Uh, that is another interesting regard of coincide.
Sorry, I'm being asked to get a drywall job done.
Oh
Might have,
snap!
might have some work to do at some point here.
That's good that they bringing you back in. They bringing you back into the game.
I need to get I don't have the tools for it, though. That's the problem. It was part of that was part of the retirement from them.
This is the joy of being able to podcast and handle life at the same time.
Trying getting pulled into a job here. Hold on.
That's a good thing, man. Shoot, I wish I got pulled into a job right now. The way this market looking, pull me into any job.
Oh, the house full. We got everybody. Mom's at work. Dad's working from home. Mom's trying to get me to do a drywall job for somebody else. Not realizing I'm working.
That's
Whole bunch of fun.
what. See, that's what I love about life, man. That's my favorite thing is these little surprises from family. So
Yeah,
making sure to say, are y'all you really on that piece? You really know how to maintain your peace? Okay, let's see.
yeah, no, exactly. It's funny because for the longest time there was like the kind of thought of like, what are you doing like in this metaverse stuff? And now it very much has turned where it's like they have an understanding that this is a big thing going forward.
Mhm.
All right, I got a couple more questions for you. I want to know What's your gut reaction when I say transhumanism?
Uh, I only like transportation. Like
Mm,
I only trans. I like going into trance, and I like transportation, but I don't like trans in front of any other thing. Uh, well, was there any transit system? Uh, that's the only stuff I like trans in front of. So I like humans. I like humans a lot. I don't want trans in front of humans though, ever. I do think that humans can live forever in a physical body, uh, or as long as the physical earth exists, and as long as the sky and moon and sun and earth exist, that humans can exist in a body, that it's a possibility, it's a potential, and that there may be yogis and certain people, certain Taoists and rainbow body activated people who did it, because basically I don't see the physical as different from the spiritual. I see
mm,
it as one. Physical means five cycles, cycles of five. Five is the geometry. We're just looking at geometry spiraling through this through this fractal, and we label it as different ways, and we came into a spell of labeling it as this death habit spell, and many people want to use transhumanism and them type of things to go beyond their failing of their body and the failing of the limitations that the body has, but the body doesn't have the limitation, the mind has the limitation. And when we can actually tap into our cities, we don't need any neural link, we don't
mm,
need any uh, goggles or glasses. We can actually enter into telepathic, clairaudient, clairvoyant, uh, bilocation, multi-location, the ability to do all these things without any type of surgeries on the body, without any type of injections into the body. None of that's necessary for these powers. So once again, I love humans. I don't want to put trans in front of human ever.
mm. No, it's funny because it's almost yeah, it's almost like we're kind of going back to this like Atlantis type of time. Like that is the mindset of if Atlantis did exist and the way that city was kind of designed to for the people to harness energy and to do incredible things. Um, yeah, I mean, from our understanding, I think like they didn't have computers that like there was no robotic Atlantis people, but they as a society were unbelievably advanced.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that is I find that really interesting. Uh, I guess we'll get a final question here, and it's one from the chat. Grumpa says, "Hey Congo, my first time here. I like your music, but why'd you put Illuminati in your name?"
Nati Congo, yes, Rastafari people. Go ya Nati Congo. That's your
Mm,
dreadlocks. You ever hear Bob Marley sing that? That's dreadlocks. Illumination. Look at your eyes, they're illuminated. Look at the sun, it's illuminated. Illumination is a wonderful word and a wonderful contemplation. And so there's fear around Illuminati. Many people
mm,
fear that the Illuminati is here to hurt and control and do this. I never seen that. I would never even call anyone who's trying to hurt someone illuminated.
mm,
Not that they don't have the potential, not that their inner soul isn't really that, but they're not acting upon that illumination. So I'm not going to call them. I'm going to call me and my friends. I'm going to call Tinfoil. I'm going to call you. Anyone who wants to join into harmony, compassion, empathy, and radiating forth light unconditionally. Illuminati fear, that will definitely get you out of the resonant vibe that
mm,
brings the blessing, that shares the blessing. And so I took the name to remove the fear, so that we could return to love and have a new world order of love, which is really the ancient world order. If you believe that there was some utopian past that anytime some hyperborean, however you say it, that it was doper. Maybe it was. Maybe what? I don't know. But what I do know is we have an imagination that can imagine the greatest and work towards making that happen.
No, and I think that is happening, especially in these times, as you know, the most creative people in the world now finally seem to have an avenue to get their creativity out there, which in turn gets them funding, which then in turn, you know, if we're giving the good creative people the funding, I think that leads to a good future. But Congo man, I really appreciate the conversation.
Me
Uh,
too, brother.
we could do this for hours. I didn't touch half of my questions that I have for you. Um,
Save them.
exactly.
Part two.
We'll be doing more of these. Uh, really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate love you and connect with you soon, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do. Uh, guys, if you can like, subscribe to both channels, we got my channel, Tinfoil Realist, your channel, Illuminati Congo, would be awesome. Anyways,
Yeah,
guys,
all
thanks so
my
much.
audience, please check for Tinfoil because he's going to be giving daily drips on much value, adding much value to your life. So just tap in with him.
Yeah, and to the Congo community. I mean, if y'all get your wallets set up on Phantom and Avax, I got plenty of NFTs to I can get you hooked up with. So,
All right, Lao Tzu says bye.
oh, that's amazing. That one, it's got a very like reminds me of like the Chinese
Yeah,
origins.
yeah, that's Lao Tzu. He's accredited with writing the Tao Te Ching. So he's another one of my inspirations.
Amazing, amazing, guys. Love you. Thank you so much. Appreciate this big time. We'll be talking again soon.